Paul
Finance
Adams, Finance. Always an interesting one.
All right. My budget is relatively brief. The salaries are mainly driven by the white collar union contract. There's a 2% COLA increase built in this year according to the contract, and I've built in step increases for any employees that are in line for that, which is the main reason for the $12,000 increase in the full-time employee compensation. Capital purchase I kept around 800, nothing big planned there. Computer equipment and licensing, it's actually dropped about $3,900. In 25 I had to purchase a number of computers to comply with Windows 11. 26 I won't have that need, so it's just basically paying for license agreements for Microsoft, Adobe, etc. Seminars and conferences, built in attendance at some GFOA events, Association of Towns, and I've been trying to encourage my employees to take some training throughout the year as well. I know that Kim Hendy is actually in the process of getting her, they call it a GFI, it's the Government Financial Institute, it's part of the GFOA, and she'll achieve certain certifications on the finance side, and she'll get exposed to some things which she normally doesn't see on a daily basis. So I think it's been good so far. Financial software tools, that is basically $1,500 for program updates and about $3,000 for a program called LeaseCrunch. LeaseCrunch is used to comply with GASB 87, where we have to actually calculate long-term values on the leases. You end up getting booked as debt service. So it's a requirement that's been in place for about 2 or 3 years now. Financial consultants, we do contract with a number of consultants which include Municipal Solutions. They handle our bond consulting. We're currently in the process of going out to do a small serial bond and a bond anticipation note toward the end of August, and they're a key player in not only selling the bond but monitoring the entire process and working with the town's bond council. This line also includes actuarial services. We're required to get an evaluation of our other long-term post-employment benefits. That's also to comply with the GASB, but it ends up being booked as a liability within the financials at the end of each year. So we use a consultant for that. And this line also includes lifetime benefit services, which they play a role in our HRA and our HSA monitoring. Office supplies, pretty flat year to year. Machine lease, that's up $800. We're releasing a copier printer from Toshiba. So it's a little more expensive than our previous machine, but still quite reasonable. Software fees are up about $9,000. The main driver of that, it was the end of our 3-year deal with Tyler Technology. They provide Munis, which is the complete financial package that the town uses. So that's up 5%, plus we've added TCM, which is a software that we'll use to go paperless for purchase orders and for invoice entry. Basically, it allows images of PDF documents to be tied to the data within Munis. So as you're reviewing a transaction, you'll be able to actually see the supporting source documents. So that's a project we're currently working on. Hope to have it in place by the end of the year. We'll see.
Excellent.
Yeah. Software conversion costs, $3,000. Trying to build in some money for some ongoing training. The Munis software is certain parts of it are quite complex, and Kelsey Feeney and Kim Hendy and Braden are very much into maximizing the potential of the software. So I'd like to build in some training, consulting fees throughout the year, which helps everyone maximize the potential and do things right within the software program. And the other piece is the independent audit. It is up slightly year to year, about $3,300. We utilize Mengel, Metzger, and Barr, who does the annual audit, in addition to agreed upon procedures engagements for the court, town clerk, and receiver of taxes. So that's up slightly. So overall, the budget's up about, I don't have a grand total here, but it's up about 23,000, or about 4% year to year. So all in all, it's not too bad.
I appreciate the team's work in going paperless, and even though there's an additional cost to that software, what we're gonna find over time is that there's gonna be a reduction in supplies. There'll be a reduction in paper, there's gonna be maybe a soft cost, but a reduction in the amount of time it takes to process all of these vouchers and whatnot. It'll make it easier for those who need to approve the bills to be able to do that electronically from anywhere. So,
Yeah, I think overall we're going to gain some efficiencies. I'm sure we're going to hear some complaints because, you know, it's a departure from what we've always done. It'll be an adjustment for some of the departments, but we'll all get used to it eventually.
So I want to just mention a couple things. Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for giving the historical actuals for each department.
It's a great tool.
Well, it's fantastic. And while you are up 25, 30,000 year to year from 25 to 26, if you look back to, if you compare 2021 to 2026, you've reduced costs $29,532 given that time span. But this just gives you an actual way to take a look at, so you budgeted X amount of dollars in 2024, you can look at 2024's actuals to give you a bit of a barometer as to where you want to be or where you think you're going to be in 2026. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, we could definitely go back and look at what lines can be tweaked, not only my budget, but throughout the entire budget.
Correct.
If we want to get to that level, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, we just talked my overtime line probably can come down a bit. A couple years ago it was running quite high, 24, not so bad. So I think that line's still budgeted a bit high, probably take it down. That's just one example.
Yep. I mean, the tools there, like, it'd be a great tool to use. I mean, because I went through every line and I saw the actuals and I focused in on the 2024 actuals compared to the 2024 budget. And there's some pretty big deltas there, not just in your department, not just saying, and it is a general statement. And comparing that to the 2025 projections.
No, you're right. Like one example is historically employee benefits have been budgeted quite generously. Actuals coming in quite a bit under. That gap is getting less and less and less. So I don't think you're going to see that going forward. But historically, there's been extra money in there, which is part of the reason our surplus has been built.
John, just so are you, this is the part that you like, and how, I think if I understand it, so it's got the 2024 actual versus 2024 budget.
Yes.
But it could also show what those budgets were for 23, 22, 21. Is that?
No, I was complimenting him on putting the actuals in there because you can see a historic history for 21 to 24.
Yeah.
But when I was going through each line on the entire budget, I would compare the 2024 budget to the 2024 actual, and then look at the projection for 2025 to see what the deltas are. And it's a great tool for all our departments.
No, it is, and and it's funny, and I know it could potentially be a rabbit hole to go back and look at 23 actual versus 23 budget. But you know what we're basically
It's just
saying
nice to have the information.
It is, and we
really
say
is.
this almost every year at budget time. This town, long before I was supervisor, long before you were before any of us were on the board, conservatively budgets. And so within conservatively budgeting, revenues are conservative in the budget, we end up consuming more revenues actual. Expenses are conservatively budgeted, so that means our actuals end up being less expenses. And I think the sheet that I referenced earlier that shows the fund balance aggregate of the town, one of the reasons why that fund balance continues to grow of all these funds is that conservative budget. Our actuals for the last 5 years, Paul, I think 24, we had budgeted for a $3 million loss,
About 3 million.
and then we ended up having about a $2 million gain.
Correct.
So where we thought we were gonna bring our fund balances down by 3 million, and we were using them to make ends meet, that year actually had us grow our fund balances by $2 million. So anyway, conservative budgeting is a good thing. Okay. Anybody else have questions or comments for Paul?
Thank you, Paul.